Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's premium review in which we are taking a look at the German Yak-1B sitting at 3.0 battle rating in realistic battle and 3.3 battle rating in arcade as we are killing, evaporating this Spitfire Mark 1 in the head-on. That was very nice. The Schwak 20mm cannon is really nice. I've always enjoyed it. Like the Schwaks. Maximum speed in this plane at sea level is 520 kilometers an hour without web, and that's the only thing you're gonna get because this plane does not have a web. Unfortunately, in realistic battle, of course in arcade you get gifted a web, but not in realistic. So 520 kilometers an hour maximum speed at sea level. Go up to 4500 meters, the maximum speed is 477 kilometers an hour. And at 6500 meters, the maximum speed is 415 kilometers an hour. Now that is reasonable speed, it's okay. Nothing to complain about. The straight line maximum speed. The top speed in a dive before it redlines is 649 kilometers an hour and 690 before it rips. Now that is not particularly good. The top speed in a dive is average, or maybe even below average, and you really have to be careful with your dives. Especially here, for example, I already pulled off because 1 kilometer extra and I would be above the red line, and that is not something you want to be in close to the ground. So be careful of that. Control stiffening, especially the roll rate, starts to settle in at 450 kilometers an hour. And at 550 it really becomes atrocious. 550 is also where the elevator starts to stiffen up. And above that, especially towards 600 plus, you're gonna have a little bit of a problem. So be careful in the top speeds at the end of your dive. Stall speed in the plane is 170, which is not particularly good. Most other planes have better stall speed than this plane. Firepower in this plane is good, like I said. It has one 20mm Schwak cannon with 120 rounds for its gun. And it also has one time 12.7mm Berezin UB machine gun with 200 rounds for the gun. Now, those two guns combined, that's good firepower, devastating firepower, good fire rate, good velocity, and yeah, if you get the guns on target, and you will pretty quickly because the aim is not very difficult to find, you will get good results. The ammo load is decent, not spectacular, with 120 rounds in the 20mm and only 200 rounds for the machine gun. But all in all, the ammo load is decent, I would say. Acceleration in a straight line is good. And in a dive I would also call it good. Energy retention in the horizontal, very good. In the vertical it's decent, especially when you roll you lose some energy, and it is not as good as the acceleration or the energy retention in the horizontal. Climb rate in the plane is decent to good depending on which altitude you are. It's good below 3,500 meters, and it is decent above that to about 6,000 meters, where it really starts to slack off the engine power. But the climb rate overall then is decent. Turn time in the plane is good, with flaps adding to it. They do rip off though at 350 kilometers an hour. So you really gotta pay attention because that's not a very high speed for the flaps to rip off at this battle rating. Roll rate in the plane is good. Overall maneuverability I would also call good. There is overheating in this plane at 100%. You will pretty quickly overheat the engine when climbing, and you just sometimes gotta put it back at 95%. A good tactic is also to just keep it at 95-96% while you're climbing, and then start 100% once you spot your first enemies and you want to accelerate to get a good position. It's reasonably easy to cool off though, but you don't want to let it raise too high because then of course it takes a little longer. Durability in the plane is good. It can take a good bit of damage, and it does keep a lot of its performance if the damage isn't too severe. So yeah, I quite liked the amount of damage the plane could take. Now all in all, I would call this plane a jack of all trades. It is decent at everything and not particularly excelling at any of the roles. It is not a dedicated turn fighter, it is definitely not a dedicated boom and zoomer, and it is also not a dedicated energy fighter, but it does pretty well in all of those three roles, and you can flip between them pretty easily, which makes this plane a very fun plane to fly for the veterans among us, and maybe even for the beginning pilots, because a plane that is a jack of all trades is easily pushed in an advantage in a against a specialized plane by veterans, and it is very forgiving for the beginning players because it can transition between roles so easily, and yeah, it is a very good plane in that sense. Here we go. We have the last surviving guy of that duo of 100 pilot that were in the match already. This guy had 4 kills to his name, but he went down for ground pounding. Maybe he thought he could end the match before I would reach him, but unfortunately for him, that did not happen. His compadre crashed into the ground earlier, so that wasn't an issue. But I mean, the engagement looked pretty promising as they both came for me, and both were within 1.5 kilometers of me. I thought I had a good fight on my hands, but unfortunately they dove away. Now this is the last guy left in this match, and he seems to be maneuvering below me. We're going in for the kill. He's not going very fast. We got a hit. Well, that was easy. I don't know. Well, I'll take it, of course. 3 kills and 1 assist in this match, and 4 kills in the first RB match as we jump into the AB match. We found a Spitfire at higher altitude here with a D-14 and a Yak-1 in the separate corners of the map. As we tried to hunt both down, both were shot down before I could reach them, and I jumped onto the second layer of fighters that was in the match. Starting with this T-44, easy kill. And of course with the enhanced flight models in AB, this Yak is really turning out to be a fantastic plane. Very good at all the roles. You know, the maximum dive speed in AB is not a problem, as of course here I get hit a few times by this BF-109E1 and didn't take any damage. I guess they were deflected or something, I don't know. Didn't take damage from them, but yeah, not the best maneuvering on my part apparently. Here we go for the F4U. We get the assist unfortunately. We've got a C-202 Volgori, which we destroy, and we take it up into altitude again. But like I said, the downsides of this plane, which especially the top speed in a dive, which does not make this plane a dedicated boom and zoomer, is of no issue in AB, so you can go way past the red line in this plane in AB and not have a problem, of course, which is a huge boost to the plane. And it's also a little bit more maneuverable, of course, so all in all very enjoyable to fly. Good on the roll rate, and like I said, here we have 470. That's already way past the rip speed in realistic, 20 kilometers above it, as we take out the F3, F2. Got another biplane here, as after the initial kills in the higher altitudes and people were fighting on the lower altitudes, people were already pushed into their lesser planes, I guess. People take a good plane out and then as reserve planes on the side have low tier planes, and losing their first plane they get, here we go, diving underneath that plane. We can't quite get the shot in on the I-15 as we rush past him. P-38 here on lower altitudes, that's an E. If you want a review of that thing, I have a review up on the P-38. Fantastic plane, early plane. No business here being so low right in front of our spawn. Of course, that's always a tactical awareness you should have. There were already 3 or 4 fighters diving on that guy, and that is not the place you want to be in the P-38. Oh, no, we don't want to go into a head-on with that dude. Not unnecessarily taking risks. Trying to find my aim here. There we go, we got him. Damage on the tail. We are now underneath the enemy air spawn ourselves, but I was confident, and I was here with a few allies, and I also think that the Yak-1 can handle it better being in this spot than a P-38, especially an E. There's a Fury coming in here. He's flying upside down, trying to be tricky, losing his life for that, of course. A low tier player, probably was having fun, but yeah. Should I have left him flying and have fun? I don't know, man. I don't know. Our tickets, or no, our tickets are pretty decent actually. There, that guy goes into the, I guess he blacked out right as he was maneuvering with us, and as the DWA team came in. 11 kills and 1 assist in that match, 2nd place. Pretty nice. Let's see what kind of rewards we got for that. Oh, Fighter's Nightmare, nice. Survivor, Terror of the Sky, 44,000 Silver Lions and 3,500 research points. I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now the Yak-1B definitely is a plane that is worth it. I really like the plane, a jack of all trades. You can transition between the roles very easily, both in RB and AB. In RB you gotta be a little bit careful in the top ends of your dives, because the plane easily rips apart there. But if you keep that into mind, this plane can do short boom and zoom runs. This plane can energy fight, this plane can turn fight a little bit, and it is a forgiving plane as it is decent at all those roles. And yeah, very nice to fly around in, both as a beginner and a veteran. So if you're looking for a German premium, then this one might be something for you. It's a little bit of something different in the German tree. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.